We are not to give in to the old man, right? The old man being the one who's under the domain of Adam, the one who lives according to the patterns and orientations of this world. Think of this as two historic events that determine the old man and new man. So the old man's determined by the first Adam, the new man's determined by the last Adam. And in terms of the new man, we're living under the domain of the Spirit as we're joined to Christ. Sinclair Ferguson wrote a book titled Devoted to God. And he has a whole chapter drawing the contrast between the old man and the new man. And there's a few things he gives in terms of living under the domain or power of the new man that I think is helpful. We have to come to the reality and realization of the enmity that exists between the flesh and the spirit. And so Sinclair is saying the first place we really need to start is, as we know we're in Christ, to have the humility of saying, I'm not dialed. We want to spend some time thinking about, what does it mean to be in Christ? What does it mean for me in terms of my life to live in Christ? And he says you reap what you sow, in the sense that as you give yourself over to the flesh, guess what fruits you're going to reap from that? Well, you're going to reap the pain and misery of a sinful life. Give yourself to the domain of the Spirit and continually give yourself over to that. What are you going to reap from that? Well, you're going to reap the benefits of being in the Spirit. Now, the other thing that's very important here, but I don't think there's a farmer in the world that sows or plants and then the next day has this full harvest and is just wonderful. And Ferguson says when Paul uses this analogy in Galatians 5, that's what we got to take serious. That as we're giving ourselves over to the domain of the Spirit, we think, oh, I'm going to reach perfection. And Ferguson's saying, no, think of it more like a farmer, right? You're planting the seed. You got the different seasons between the planting and the harvest, and you don't know exactly what's going to happen in between. And so it's a call simply to say, be patient, right? Be patient. It's easy to say, well, I don't see immediate fruit of this, therefore I think this is a fraud. He's saying, no, be patient. You know, we are people that need a deep transformation. And it's only in the Spirit's power that we will do this.